Hey Tube, welcome back. What are the primary security issues of web service? Web services, while providing a significant functionality and flexibility for distributed systems, are susceptible to various security vulnerabilities. These vulnerabilities can be exploited by attackers, leading to unauthorized access, data, data breaches, and service disruptions. Let's talk about some of the primary security issues commonly faced by web services. The first thing, let me delete everything here and make them by numbers because I guess by numbers to be better. We have injection attacks. In terms of the types, it includes SQL injection, XML injection, and command injection. The impact here is that attackers can inject malicious code or queries into web services that interact with databases or other backend components, potentially gaining unauthorized access to sensitive data or executing unauthorized commands. Number two, we have broken authentication. In terms of description, it occurs when authentication mechanisms are implemented improperly, allowing attackers to compromise passwords, keys, or tokens to assume the identity of other users. The impact, the unauthorized access to sensitive data or functions that should be protected. Number three, which will be have the sensitive data exposure. In terms of the description, it's improper protection of sensitive data such as financial, healthcare, and personal identification information, leading to potential exposure. Okay. The impact of the data breaches where sensitive data is exposed to unauthorized parties, leading to compliance, complaints, issues, and potential harms to users. Number four, man in the middle. In terms of description, attackers can intercept and alter communications between a client and server without either party knowing, especially if the communication is not properly encrypted. The impact of the information theft, data tampering, and user um, impersonation. Number five, we have, I guess we have about 10 concerns. Number five, we have XML external entities. An attack against applications that parse XML input. This attack occurs when XML input containing a reference to an external entity is processed or by a weakly configured XML parser. The impact of that, we have a disclosure of confidential data, denial of service, server side request forgery, which is SSRF, and other systems impact as well. Number six, we have the cross-site scripting. In terms of the description, in web services that dynamically generate HTML responses, XSS can occur if user input is included in output without sufficient escaping. The impact of the attacker scripts can be executed to the client side, leading to session hijacking, defacements, or redirection to malicious sites. Number seven, which is security misconfiguration. This one, it's improper server or application configuration can lead to numerous vulnerabilities, including unnecessary services running outdated software versions, or verbose error messages containing sensitive information. The impact of that, we provides attackers with unauthorized access or information that could lead to further attacks. Insecure the relations. Deserialization, sorry, deserialization. My English sometimes is not that good, so you find me, yeah, pronounce some things in the wrong way. So yeah, if I did that, just to forgive me for it. Okay, let me see if I pronounce it right. Deserialization. Okay, I was pronouncing it way wrong. Deserialization. Okay, so in secure deserialization, um I don't know what you know about decentralization, but basically, we have insecure decentralization occurs when untrusted data is used to abuse the logic of an application. This is the definition of it. Inflict a denial of service attack or even execute arbitrary code upon decentralizations. The impact of this one is like the remote code execution, replay attacks, injection attacks as well, and privilege escalation attacks as well. Okay, so we have number nine, lack of proper access control. This one, like insufficient restrictions on what authentication users are allowed to do, often occurs when applications don't check for permission across each function. The impact of this one, the authorized users might access and manipulate data or functionalities beyond their permission. Number 10, which is something that's pretty famous, which will be the denial of service. This one is overwhelming a web service with a high volumes of data or complex requests can exhaust resources, making the service slow or completely unavailable. The impact of this one, the service downtime and unavailability affecting all the users' access to the service. And number 11, which is lost, insufficient logging and monitoring. Um, in this one, it's logging on insufficient logging and monitoring of actions and lack of timely monitoring can prevent detection of security breaches. And the impact of this one, we can find some delays in detecting or responding to attack, potentially leading to significant data or financial loss. To address these security issues, it is essential to adopt comprehensive security practices, including input validation, authentication, and authorization controls, encryption, logging, and monitoring, and regular updates to software and infrastructure. To I don't know if you can recognize this one, or you can, or you already. I hope you already recognize it because it will be great if you did it that way. But if you can see, all the problems come under two sections or three sections. First, authentication. The second one is the confidentiality. So basically, a single web service can have multiple application, and the service path contains potential weak link at its node. And we took you find like there is one of or 3 points that point to that. We have some sort of network security. You find that security issues coming from three things, or mainly two things: network security and authentication. And you find when we get to distributed systems, the confidentially becomes a big part of it. So, yeah, that's it for today's video, and see you in the future.